Well, hello there, and welcome to another J&J Tabletop video. My name is Jake, and with me, as always, is Josh. And we at J&J Tabletop love helping our viewers get the most out of their games of really any TTRPG. But Josh, now we have an opportunity to talk about getting the most out of your weapons because of Weapon Mastery.
Yeah, Weapon Masteries are super cool. Leading up to the rule update, leading up to the 2024 Player's Handbook, I think this is one of the biggest things that people were looking forward to. It's essentially, it's a new property that each weapon has that lets you do a special thing. If you are playing a barbarian, fighter, paladin, ranger, rogue, yes. Or if you take a feat at level 4 to gain access to Weapon Masteries, you could have access to some of these. And we're going to run through them right now. We'll tell you what they do, and then we'll give you some opinions on them. Starting right at the top, we have Cleave. Once per turn, you can make an attack against a creature that's within 5 feet of the first creature you attack. You can't add your ability modifier to that damage roll if it hits. So basically, 2 for the low cost of 1. You can do that with a great axe or a halberd.
Next up, we've got Graze, which if you miss an attack roll with a Graze weapon, you get to deal your ability modifier damage to that target anyway, and you can do that with a glaive or a greatsword. After Graze, we have Nick, which we've got this explanation about dual wielding and two-weapon fighting, those rules in a video we made, but the Nick property allows you to convert the extra attack granted by the light weapon property from a bonus action into part of the attack action. This is very action economy friendly, and Nick weapons include daggers, light hammers, sickles, and scimitars.
After that, we have Push. You can push a large or smaller target that you hit 10 feet away from you. Fighters and maybe monsters with 3+ attacks, they're going to be exploiting the heck out of this. And they'll be doing that with a great club, a pike, a warhammer, or a heavy crossbow, or a combination of all the above.
We've also got Sap, which the next attack made by a creature that's hit with a Sap weapon will have disadvantage on their next attack roll before the start of their next turn. It's actually one of my favorites. And that is included on the mace, the spear, flail, longsword, morningstar, and warpick.
Getting close to the bottom of the list, we have Slow. Slow is for all you saucy boys out there. It's basically Ray of Frost. A creature hit by this, they have their speed reduced by 10 feet until the start of your next turn. It can't stack. I want to say unfortunately, but let's be real. You shouldn't be able to stack that. That'd be absurd. But you could do that with a club, javelin, light crossbow, sling, whip, or a longbow.
We've also got Topple. When you hit a creature with a Topple weapon, you can force a Constitution saving throw, and if they fail, they have the prone condition.
Do you mean you knock them prone?
Well, I guess that's one way you could look at it, but if they're sensitive about such things, they would probably say they have the prone condition.
Fair enough. You didn't knock me prone. You gave me the prone condition.
It's very different. You can give the prone condition to your targets with the quarterstaff, battle axe, lance, maul, and trident.
Finally, the last one on our list, we have Vex. If you hit a creature and deal damage, you will have advantage on your next attack against them. Pretty sweet. That will work with a hand axe, a dart, a short bow, a rapier, or a short sword. A lot of interesting stuff on here. Some clearly stronger than others, I think.
I think that's safe to say.
But yeah, right? Any standouts? Anything that just jumps out is really cool?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that Vex and Nick are going to be a very popular combo, especially for rogues, and especially if you're looking to really get the most out of dual wielding. So we would be irresponsible not to mention that as a standout. But I really like the Sap property because the longsword, for example, has the Sap property, and that really gives that classic sword and board, especially if you have Shield Master, inflicting disadvantage on a next attack roll while also wielding a shield and having a higher AC. You could do some really, really nasty things, and the Shield Master feat, it's going to give you kind of like a push slight and a topple sort of a thing going on too. There's a lot you could do with a sword and board.
There is, and that's exciting to me, honestly, because sword and board was so So it's just so plain for such a long time. So it's cool to see some fun ideas kind of sprinkle in there with it. I feel like this opens some doors. Push kind of mentioned this like right in the description of push that we gave, to just continuously just push something or someone. That's a big thing. And even you said Vex and Nick, that opens up a conversation of like, what about combinations? Is there a path to push and slow? Because that's just absurd. We have a video series from I don't know, maybe like a year or two ago, about making the most out of the action economy, and a big part of doing that is taking other people's actions off the board. You know, like, how do I make your turn? You're really good melee fighter, but you kind of suck at ranged. I could ruin your turn by pushing you away, taking away your speed. You know, no, maybe I'm not doing well. I can't even say I'm not doing the most damage, because there's not really anything that just gives you a bonus to damage. Not a mastery, at least, but
Directly,
like,
yeah.
it's pretty significant. That's a big thing.
It's very significant. Like, how do you quantify the value of removing someone's action from their next turn? That's so powerful. The only one that honestly, if I'm looking at it, that just does not excite me is the Graze one, because I'm just really not a fan of dealing damage on a miss. I feel like you rolled a natural one. Do not fret. I am still going to deal 5 points of damage with my strength modifier of +5. Like, okay, cool. Make a concentration saving throw.
What you're telling me, Jake, is you're more of a black and white kind of guy. You don't like grays. You know, I want your attack to either hit or miss. There are levels to that. You know, the attack's gonna hit or it's gonna miss. It's not gonna do any in between damage. There's no gray area here.
There is no, but there's always dealing damage. Oof.
Yeah. Another important thing to call out, I think, is at level 9, fighters will always have access to push, sap, and slow. You could only ever use one mastery option per attack. But at that point, like, you're getting so many attacks that there's just so many opportunities for so many things. I mean,
even with just one weapon.
Right? Which to me raises the question, like, are there any combinations that come to mind? You, the viewer at home, are there any combinations that come to mind that just sound exciting to you? And also, what weapons and weapon masteries are you excited to use? Let us know. And please let us know what you want us to talk about next. This is a big book. A lot of stuff to cover. Aside from that, thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.